Hello, everyone. I'm not going to do a big long intro because there's no point. But earlier today, we went live and we watched just over an hour of Ash Mufareh's ramblings of his corporate webinar for Onpassive earlier today. And we got to a point where the stream kind of died for a lot of channels. And I told you all that if I could find the last while of the stream, then I would let you know. And I have, in fact, found it, as you can see here. I have queued it to where it died the last time. Therefore, this is a continuance of our stream from earlier. We are going to act as though we are watching this live because we have about an hour to get through, and I really want to see what was said. I don't know if I want to do this on another day. I thought about it for a while I was, ending my evening here. And I was like, I don't want to do the last hour in like 3 days from now. I would rather just get it done today. So without further ado, we're going to start it off right where it stopped. I guess they must have messed it up. Or maybe they'll let us know what happened. I'm not really sure, but let's just watch the rest, shall we?
Well, thank you, Julie. Welcome to page 3. Very, very excited today. As you can see, as promised, again, many new faces. We got some old faces, but they're all beautiful faces. And I don't know who that guy, John White, is because I don't recognize him. You look very good, John White. Very good. I want to say I'm glad we stopped the recording for a minute because babyface grandma's fingers got stuck.
There we go.
And we started over. So I want to say I'm very thankful for three things today. One is God, one is Ash Mufareh, and one is Marty DeGarmo, who I'm glad to say is here today. And I'm very, very grateful. I want to thank you, and he might, but I'm going to do it first for all the prayers that you gave to not only to our brother Marty, but to everyone that we pray for every day. I'm appreciative of it. I said something on the Middle Eastern webinar, and a lot of you weren't on that one, that I want to repeat. I want to give a personal shout out and thank you to all the loyal founders who stuck with Ash when he was at his lowest points in this company. And you guys never gave up. You never swayed. You stayed in belief in him. And I want to thank you personally for that. That means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Ash and to all of you. So I do appreciate that. A lot of things have been going crazy. The last couple of weeks have been up and down craziness with brother Marty in and out of the hospital. They think they got it.
That's
now.
really been it. Just
Monday.
Marty.
And I'm sure we're going to hear some funny stories for the next couple of weeks on his little journey he had in and out of that ambulance and hospital. But we are very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the prayers and him being back, at least on this webinar until Monday. And I do want to give a big shout out to my sister, Julie Wen, who has always been there and always helped out. But she gave us a lot of help late last night. I text Marty, I think we got this just for one YouTube. He said he can do it. So I said, I'm going to bed. We're done. We did what we had to do. Woke up and he sent me a message, call me right now. And then we spent the next 4 or 5 hours. Got Julie back on the phone, texting Ash, get ready to share
No one
that
cares
because we wanted to get all the YouTubes on. Please like and subscribe to whoever's YouTube you're on. We want to say thank you to all the YouTubers from around the world that have joined us and put out great messages, positive messages, truthful messages for this amazing company. We are going to change lives. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to do that. And all of you are a part of that. You're history-making individuals that 20 years from now, every one of these webinars are going to be broadcasted live everywhere to look at these individuals who had faith in something. Look at these individuals who believed in a man's vision and kept it going. So don't ever forget that. I am very proud of you all. I'm trying to see if he's on there. I want to introduce him. Hold on one second. I can't see. Let me know when you see Ash come on. But I'm going to introduce them anyway. We got people.
They're here, Chris. They're here.
Okay, we got people from all over the world here, as you can see, different colors, different faces, different sizes. Me being one of the bigger ones, and that's okay. We got beautiful sisters. We got handsome men, and we
Did
are
they
ready
actually
to shake this
start it
world up.
over?
So on that note, I want to introduce my best friend next to Marty DeGarmo. He's going to love that one. A guy who I look up to, a guy who's inspired me, who's bettered my life, and I believe all of yours, Mr. Ash Mufareh, the CEO of this amazing company. Come on out, Mr. Brother Ash.
Thank you so much, Brother Chris. You are incredibly amazing. I think we should all leave. I mean, I don't want to screw this up. This is perfect. What you said is quite enough and inspiring. Well, I'm pleased to be here again. Thank you, everybody. And for the new faces, obviously, we know them, but we haven't seen them in a while. I'm very happy that you're all here. Super thank you. All big thank you. And for those who arranged this session one more time, it's been a little bit sketchy for the last couple of weeks, obviously. We're all affected by our brother DeGarmo, and it's no secret. I think he would outlive all of us for the amount of prayers and love he has. So don't worry about him. He's going to be okay. We know that our prayers are being heard. Thank you, Sister Julie, and of course, Minu and everybody who's assisting. Let's get going. I do have good news and bad news today. So my name is Ash Mufareh. I'm live from Orlando, Florida now, and I hope this will be great. So now that we're done with the good news, let's move on to the bad news. I'm kidding. There's never bad news in Onpassive, all right? At least from my side, okay. And Brother Chris, I'm gonna kind of like clarify. That's what I do. Always I clean up after you. Basically, there's no low moment. I haven't been low, okay? Just circumstances and, you know, some challenges in the business, but I've been always high. That sounds like really illegal. I've never been that high, okay? So, but I've been spiritually and mentally, I'm always positive. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so I'm going to get going by the very first clarification. We have been in touch for the last couple of weeks, which is great. There's some probably light and insight and clarity on the direction moving ahead, but certainly with the limitation or with the I would say,
well, that's what this allegedly is.
So
this apparently is the second hour, but I feel like it's just the first hour again, unless I'm losing my mind. But the thing is that Chris did come on and go, we started and it cut off. That's what's confusing me. But like, it is the exact same. So I'm trying to figure out like if Narelle just played it over again. And if that's what happened, because it is supposed to be a continuation. Let's see, where I'm confused is there's more of an intro on this one. And in the intro on this one, he says, okay, we're starting back up again.
very, very excited today. As you can see, as promised, again, many new faces. We got some old faces, but they're all beautiful faces. And I don't know who that guy John White is because I don't recognize him. You look very good, John White. Very good. I want to say I'm glad we stopped the recording for a minute because baby-faced grandma's fingers got stuck, and we started over. So I want to say I'm very thankful for three things today. One is God, one is Ash Mufareh, and one is Marty DeGarmo, who I'm glad to say is here today. And I'm very, very grateful. I want to thank you, and he might.
Now, see, I had missed this the first time. I'm a little bit like, why are we crying, Chris? He's like, I'm so grateful that Marty DeGarmo is here. But they said that they had messed up the recording, and then he did this little speech here. So I was like, oh, this has to be, when their recording messed up. But then Ash is giving the same speech. And then there's the part where he takes the phone call, it looks like.
But I'm going to do it first for all the prayers that you gave to not only to our brother Marty, but to everyone that we pray for every day. I'm appreciative of it. I said something on the Middle Eastern webinar, and a lot of you weren't on that one, that I want to repeat. I want to give a personal shout out and thank you to all the loyal founders who stuck with Ash when he was at his lowest points in this company. And you guys never gave up. You never swayed. You stayed in belief in him. And I want to thank you personally for that. That means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Ash and to all of you. So I do appreciate that. A lot of things have been going crazy. The last couple of weeks have been up and down craziness with brother Marty in and out of the hospital. They think they got it now. He's going to be in there till Monday. And I'm sure we're going to hear some funny stories for the next couple of weeks on his little journey he had in and out of that ambulance and hospital. But we are very thankful, and I'm very thankful for the prayers and him being back, at least on this webinar until Monday. And I do want to give a big shout out to my sister, Julie Wen, who is up, who has always been there and always helped out. But she gave us a lot of help late last night. I text Marty, I think we got this just for one YouTube.
Now, because her start
on the phone, texting Ash, get ready to share that new link because we want to get all the YouTubes on. Please like and subscribe to whoever's YouTube you're on. We want to say thank you to all the YouTubers from around the world that have joined us and put out great messages, positive messages, truthful messages, and many new faces. We got some old faces, but they're all beautiful faces. Personal shout out and thank you to all the loyal founders who stuck with Ash when he was at his lowest points in this company. And you guys never gave up. You never swayed. You stayed in belief in him.
It's the same thing.
And I want to thank you personally for that.
So what they're doing is they're looping the message. So they all only still have, wait, am I on the one I wanted to be on? Yeah, it's not showing the time. I want to show the time. Hold on. Will it do it if I take the banner off? Yeah, okay, there. It's because of my banner. Sorry. So as you can see, the one that got played for everyone was an hour and 19 minutes. Okay. And this one is 2:26:51. Now, this played on Narelle's channel, the 119. Played it all the way through, watched the whole thing, and then I guess Narelle really, really wanted to watch it. So then Narelle did another stream that looks like this, And in this stream, she started it from the beginning. Hold on, where is it? So she has Ash's speech, and it goes to, around, where is it? I think right here.
I've talked about this before, but plants and gardening are one of my passions. I have no formal training, only some experiences with both positive and negative results. Last year, I planted a new perennial.
So you remember this part of the speech from Megan Mitchell, and you guys were like, no more Megan Mitchell, please. That's awful. Please don't do anymore. And she talks about plants for quite a while. Okay. And then there's this weird commercial break. Right? There's like a weird commercial break.
And faith. I believe there are miracles happening beneath these.
The clapping seals.
Very good, Megan. I got it. Brother Ash, are you still there? Did you go get a drink of water or something?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you for caring. Just if you allow me, I think if you like, we can shut it down as far as recording. And if there are comments, feedback, or questions, that would be considered as a bonus for the live attendees. Does that make sense?
So I don't think they are going to
Chris?
Put the last half up.
Yes.
Chris, this is Jerry Nix. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. I just wanted to say a few things if I could.
Jerry,
remember, Jerry?
I'm delivering groceries for.
So then it goes like this.
You've got the exercise plan, the skincare plan, but when's the last time you took care of your brain? Anxiety, brain fog, memory loss. This class will teach you science-backed ways to combat these issues so they don't take over your life. The biggest threat to our brain health, high levels of stress and anxiety.
Black screen. So you're like, Norel? Norel, are you there?
Oh, thank you, Julie. Welcome to page 3. Very, very excited today. As you can see, as promised, again, many new faces. We got some old faces, but they're all beautiful faces.
And for some reason, Norel decides to then watch an hour of it over again. But I don't know if we missed it like the first time. I don't know what happened. I don't know if our brains were just like so jumbled the very first time that we were watching this because of the absolute nonsense we had just listened to for an hour and 20 minutes. But Ash actually tells us there that they're shutting off the recording. He says, I think we should shut off the recording and then we should stop live streaming it, not have any recordings, shut it down kind of thing. And then I'm assuming that they continued the question answer session in private. And that's bizarre. That's a bit bizarre to me. It makes me wonder about the question, like what questions could they have been asking? Where they were like, the public must not know. But I don't think that we're going to get at all the last while of this stream. Because I somehow missed it the first time, but he's literally like, shut it down. Shut it down, guys. And I can't help but laugh.
And faith. I believe there are miracles happening.
Sorry, it like fast forwards like
Very good, Megan. I got it.
right here.
Brother Ash, are you still there? Did you go get a drink of water or something?
Oh,
I
I'm good.
missed
Thank you
it
for
the
caring.
first time.
Just if you allow me, I think if you like, we can shut it down as far as recording. And if there are comments, feedback, or questions, that would be considered as a bonus for the live attendees. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
Chris,
Yes.
Chris, it's Jerry Nix. I'm going to have to leave, buddy.
Yeah, so I think maybe going forward now, the question and answer session is actually going to be something that they're going to do special for the people that actually make it onto the Zoom. Which now here's the thing. In one sense, that makes a bit of sense. Because I guess like if you're in the company, should you get something extra? Maybe. I mean, I thought that a lot of these webinars were to, you know, start hype and get people in the public interested, answer questions for everyone, you know. It sucks in the sense that now if you're in Onpassive and you don't make it onto the Zoom, then you're not going to get any of the answers to any of the questions. Because if they shut down the recording, and here's the thing, when they shut down the recording, everyone's recording of it stopped. All right, I went and searched, and it seems like everyone that was doing it live, they're stopped at the 119. Again, remember, Norel's did as well. The one that we're just watching of hers, that's another stream that she was like, I would like to listen to Ash Mufareh 3 times in a row. I guess she felt like torturing herself today. So she's like, we're going to actually listen to the full thing 3 times in a bloody row. So she did that to herself on her channel. I'm not going to do that to us. But I don't think going forward, we're now going to get a question and answer session from these guys because it's going to be considered an extra thing. And here's the thing, by the way, out of all of the stuff that Ash spoke today, there's not a lot that actually has substance. I've already like kind of been going through it and going, all right, what can I put into a video? Because, you know, I usually do a short form now. The last couple times I've done a short version, right? Where I take out all the, there's not much. So it's a whole ramble fest for over an hour. But now I'm kind of like, okay, wait, this is a bizarre thing. I don't know how we didn't catch it the first time. I think our brains were all jumbled. We were all going through cognitive overload. We were just sitting here at the end like, what the hell are they saying? Because Ash had taken us in every direction at that point. We even went up in space. So, sus. See, like, and this is what I mean, is I'm like, was this one actually an open question and answer session? But the issue lies in this, is in future now, if we're doing this going forward, if Ash isn't going to be doing those live, it's going to shut off the recording after he addresses his people. So, like, okay, here's the thing about that, right? That makes it more authoritarian in a weird way. Like, does that make sense, me saying that? Do you guys get what I'm saying? I basically came on here just to shoot the shit with you for like half an hour. After I realized that we're probably never going to see the last half. But it's like, now that he's cutting off the question answer from the public now, in a weird way, now when he comes on for these corporate webinars, it really will just be him coming on to address the crowd, right? It's not going to be an interactive thing. It's just him coming on to do a speech or an update, but it's not really an update. It's more like he does a speech for like an hour and a bit, and it's basically rambling. But so he's just going to be coming on and doing that, and then at the end they'll cut it off, so he won't be live anymore. So then the public doesn't have access to the question and answer, which also means that in future any of the O founders are also not going to have access to any of that information. And a lot of times that is when Ash explains things the most. I know that seems weird, but like during his speeches, he tends to go off on tangents and tries to do like analogies within analogies within analogies. You know, and we get we get basically what happened today. And so now I'm like, I don't know if that might make things worse. And I don't know what Narelle was doing. That's because most of them have mental health issues. Well, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people get scammed or join a cult without mental health issues. The question and answer is basically a huge rub and tug. And see, it is, which is also kind of like why I'm like, well, why did we just decide to do that now? Is it because that's all that he has to offer them? Bar's really low here. Now, the big thing that you get in Onpassive is you get a question and answer session on a Zoom call once a week with Ash Mufareh. And now here's the other problem is I don't think they're paying for the Zoom to do the however many members. So, I mean, it was already quite the display and pre-planned and scripted when they did it publicly. But now that we're doing it privately, what would be the point in that? Because usually the point in doing that publicly is to kind of trick the public into thinking that you're like really well respected and you have a lot of people that look up to you and think you're really great. You know? That's why you would kind of have that praise session happening constantly every week where everyone comes up and they go, "Thank you so much for existing, Mr. Ash Mufareh, and for the sacrifice your family, you know, gave for you to steal $108 million and spend it on them." So now it's like, okay, well, what are they going to be now, I wonder? What are they going to be now? And what is the point of it? I mean, is this thing kind of like closing? Because that's kind of also a scary thought. I already got scared when he mentioned something about how in future... Have a good night, Joe. Thanks for popping in. Hi, Retro. He said something about how in future it was going to be invite only for the new company. And then he did this thing with the question answer only being for the people who arrived on the Zoom. So now there is a really big sense of elitism here. And so now I'm kind of wondering what that's going to do. Is that really the only thing that we have to offer right now, though? Is that why we're doing this? Is that the only hype that we have? Is, hey, you got to get into the Zoom call so that you can ask me a question when I turn off the recording? Because, like, I don't know if that's a good thing. I feel like that's a very, very dangerous place for us to be in. And again, I do think that it makes him more of an authoritarian leader now that he's just doing an address. I don't know how else to word that right now. It's just very weird. Especially since he didn't really explain anything in it. I feel like oftentimes he explains better when he's trying to answer a question. The last couple of webinars, a lot of the speech that he gave that made everything make sense that he was saying was during the question and answer. You know, he kind of elaborates a tiny bit because someone asks him a more direct question sometimes. We got that a little bit the last 2 webinars, but so now I'm like, oh, great. Now we really are just going to be getting his ramblings. Like an hour of him rambling at us and then being like, all right, let's shut down the recording. So I don't know if we're going to get the last half, and I don't know if we're ever going to see the question answer session again. But we are supposed to find out about the SEC this week, so hopefully we hear about that, and I will let you guys know as soon as I find out about that. I don't know if they'll post it on the 5th or if it takes a day or something. But again, based on how he was talking today, I don't think that the settlement was received. But as if we missed that the first time, I'm kind of laughing at myself a little bit. And it just goes to show you, like, I obviously was suffering from some kind of cognitive overload during that stream to have completely missed the part where he's like, let's shut this off and then just do this in with the Zoom. And it's from listening to him ramble on for an hour. And this is why they say, oh, I have to watch him 2 or 3 times to get the message, which you shouldn't have to do, but, you know, that's why they have to do that, I guess. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for popping on. Thank you for going on this little journey with me into discovering that from now on, we are going to be a lot more culty over here. Now, I am wondering if he's going to also do a pivot and maybe not call the company On Fusion. I don't know if he's going to announce it. I don't know. Maybe he is still waiting to see what happens with the SEC to see if he even has to rebrand it. Again, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I hope that all of you have a fabulous rest of your night and have a fabulous rest of your weekend. And I guess there won't be a time this next week where I will be getting the rest of the recording and we'll be going over it together because there isn't one. And I don't think that they'll be allowed to post one even if they recorded it on their own. I don't know if they are, I mean, like, I guess they could do that. But if you're out there and you have access to the link for the Zoom and you, want to help out, make sure that you do get a hold of me. I do have an email and no one has to know who you are. You know, you can just be somebody that wants to make sure that you get your commissions. You know, just hit me up. Hit me up. Send me a link. You know, it wouldn't hurt you. It wouldn't hurt you. No, it's not in Norel's. It's not in Norel's because Ash literally said in it, shut it off. So Norel just rewatches the stream again. She just watches it twice in a row. I don't know why she's torturing herself. Maybe someone should check on Narelle. But in that journey, here's the thing is, with all of that happening, which, yes, I did know this before I started the stream. I'm kind of a bitch. But with all of that happening, I realized, because then I had to re-listen to Ash at the end. After it was all said and done, and we got through the big speech by Megan Mitchell, then Ash says, shut off the recording. And we're just going to do the question and answers in Zoom, and they're not recording it even. So then I was like, oh my God, I completely missed this. And I feel like a bunch of us did, because we literally were just so, like, out of it. Okay, we're still a little confused. All right, so Narelle posted a video up where it's 2.5 hours long. And it appears to be, upon first glance, the full webinar from today. Because if you remember, the full webinar from today is only 1 hour and 19 minutes, and then it cut off. So I had a few people send me this one and say, Queen, Narelle has the full webinar with the question answer period. I said, great. I check it out. It is not the full webinar. It is actually Narelle going insane. Okay? Insane. And after she streamed the webinar today, she restreamed it twice in a row again, one after the other. And this is actually the webinar twice in a row. Okay? So we all got sort of fooled for a minute. However, in us getting fooled, I re-listened to the end because I was like, I might as well. What did happen right before they cut off? Did I miss something? And I did. Because Ash announces in the like, we watched it live. We watched him say it, and he says in it, cut off the recording. We're not going to record the question and answer session. It's over with. It's done. Cut it off. It will just be for the people that are here on the Zoom right now. And then I was just dying of laughter because I found it hilarious, because I sat here going, I watched this live, and I somehow literally missed him saying that. And at the end of my last webinar, I tell all of you that if I get the remainder, I'll let you know. And we'll stream it this week. So then I was like, well, this is kind of funny. So I came live and did it live for all of us, so that we could all go on the journey together and discover it together. Because as I'm saying, I think that after we had all listened to Ash, and he did his over 1 hour long nonsensical speech about going to space and mangoes and fuck knows what else, you know, we went on a ride today. Okay, we went on a journey of our own. I think we all were experiencing cognitive overload. And when he stopped talking and the question and answer session started, I think a lot of us had our minds kind of turn off for a minute. And it was almost like we all missed that part. So we've all been sitting here for the remainder of the evening, hoping to find the last half of this alleged webinar. But bro, it wasn't even recorded. We're looking for nothing. It's not going to exist, unfortunately. It is officially a piece of lost media. But in a funny way, I'm glad it happened. But it also goes to show you again that even when you speak out about cults, you can experience cognitive overload trying to cover them and pay attention to everything that's going on. Because, like, I completely missed it. I've also, off and on this evening, been going to their channels to go, did anyone post the rest? And then was like, oh my God, that's so funny. Because he's literally like, shut it off. Shut it down. Never mind. Never mind. We're not doing it, you know?
I will make the most of this garden and start.
If you allow me, I think if you like, we can shut it down as far as recording. And if there are comments, feedback, or questions, that would be considered as a bonus for the live attendees. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right.
Chris?
Yes?
Chris, it's Jerry Nix. I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. I just wanted to say.
And then it cuts off. But yeah, no, see, he says we're shutting it down. So I just found that kind of funny. And then I thought we would have a little talk about what does that mean now going forward. So that's kind of what we just did. Because I'm like, we all missed that. There was a bunch of us that were sitting here watching it. And I think a bunch of us missed that. Because at that point, Ash just sounded like wah, 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 like the mom on Charlie Brown, you know? Like, he just wasn't registering. So unfortunately, there is not going to be a question and answer session. It will just be Megan Mitchell and her garden. And then Jerry Nix here starting it up, a question, and then it just cutting off. Unfortunately, that will be how it will be. And it appears that going forward, that's going to be how it's going to be. So I'm kind of like, hey guys, if you're out there and you want to like shoot a sister a link, you know, we got to start getting more creative. Maybe we are going to have to start trolling them, guys. I don't know. I guess let's see how long it lasts. For all we know, next week it might not be like that. But it sounded like that this might be a new thing. So don't go searching for the last bit of the webinar. It wasn't recorded, so it's not going to exist, unfortunately. Unless randomly, like I said, some random founder has recorded it. But as of right now, there is nothing, and don't waste your time. Because it probably won't be on there. One of the worst people you could ever listen to is Mike Ellis. God, Mike Ellis is great fun to laugh at, though. But yes, he's very dry. He says it's going to happen very, very quickly. He always does. Phase 2 is massive. Yep, so sorry, guys. That's it for page 3. And, you know, I guess after this, we're going to move on to page 4. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I guess I'll see you all next week on page 4.